I'm Lotte de Beer. I'm a stage director for opera. I thought I would be a stage director for spoken theater, but I also thought when I was 7-year-old that I would be an opera singer, and all of a sudden these two things came together and I thought there's something called opera regie, and I completely fell in love with it. It's funny because I've always said that I think I'm a Verdi director. I had the feeling this is really my comfort zone because it's always so political, what he writes. It's the broad stroke of the brush. He always has people that stand for more than just their little individual story. And the amplification of his music and the amplification of the ideas amplify even each other. So the intellectual exercise and the emotional exercise and the musical exercise sort of come together in one big explosion. I think in Aida, he perfectionates that. So even if you hear the theme that the overture starts with, it's pure. What is it? It's a longing. It's loneliness. It's a conversation with yourself. Maybe what Aida has. It's being torn between two worlds. Highly personal and vulnerable. And then if you hear, you know, the glorification of war with all these voices together, and you clash that against each other, you have the whole drama only in those two sound worlds. In this time, if you want to portray Aida, you of course tell the story of the characters, but you also have to tell the story of the piece, I think. And the style and the exotism and the musical style, the borrowing of themes from all over the world, the way the West thought that they could use story elements and atmospheres however they liked. I think one has to thematize both, and that's what we're trying to do. We use art as a metaphor. So we tell this very political story about the West, about colonialism, post-colonialism, etc. But we don't go into that. We use two art styles, clash them together, and in that way we tell the framework of the piece itself, and we set up a way to tell this sort of Romeo and Julia story, which it sort of is. How can a bird and a fish fall in love? Where would they build their nest? Because Aida and Radames have completely different worlds and identities and ways of expressing themselves, yeah, we set up for a very interesting clash of two worlds. The one that interests me most is the drama of Aida herself, who has to deal with her old world, where she could be a totally different identity. She had a high status, she was free, she was a princess. All of a sudden she has to deal with the present tense, where she is a slave, where she's insignificant. So she's not just away from home, she's also away from who she ever was. Then she falls in love with someone who represents everything that she should be against. And so he makes the drama really cross exactly in where our protagonist is, and that is so sublimely done. For me, opera at its best is when the three layers come together. When the text layer, which always has to go through your head, the musical layer, which goes very direct, and the emotional layer, which is probably the combination of the two, if they go into the same direction, then it's just so much stronger than any other genre can be. And I think that's my work as an opera director. You have this historical material, an historical story. If you link that to images of today, but you link those images today, you set them up so that they can surf along with the power of the music, then you get an experience that is about everything. It's about you, it's about people that you see, it's about now, it's about then, it's about the future. And I think Verdi's work is ideal for that, because it's always about more than it supposedly is in the moment that the characters sing to each other.